Today's session, going to do 5-10 minutes with a 2-minute rest. Join for as many or as few as you like. And just clear the messages. Screen. Okay. I'm going to ease into it. 5 by 10. We're going to take a pretty reasonable 2-minute rest, so nice and easy to program on the monitor. Okay, let's just make sure your monitor is on. Okay, that's your 1-minute warning. So let's set up our monitor. If you like to do it that way, you don't have to. You can just paddle it through if you like. So we go to, if you're on a PM5, select workout, new workout, intervals time, set time to 10 minutes, toggle around, set the rest time to 2 minutes, and we're off in 30 seconds. If you're worried that the monitor is going to switch itself off while you're waiting, you can just toggle the rest time up and down just to keep the screen alive. We're off in 10 seconds, 10 minutes, 2 minutes rest. Press the tick, 3, 2, 1, and we push away. Just thinking, with about the range, gradually easing out. I've just been rowing a double. Here's a child, so a guy who's 6'8". It's been really good for me, remembering to row long. You can get good effective length in the water or on the machine. So get good speed. Really, really helpful. So thinking about effective length, let's just start off thinking about the front end of the stroke and the connection. Of course, front end comes from the setup off the back. So let's start with the basics. Hands away, body over, slide up. Once you slide up, feel the weight transfer onto the balls of your feet. And as your heels raise, you come right to the front. Activate your quads and just push away. the first movement of the stroke, of the power stroke, is pushing the legs down. Try and leave everything else behind, so that you almost hang off the hand. Used to do an exercise in the boat. My coach would try to get us to almost come off our seat, almost stand up, hit in front as hard as we could, and getting our legs on. And then when you're doing that now, because we're just going, it's probably the hardest thing to do in rowing, I think, is that push away. And as I've got older, I've got worse and worse at bringing my body on too early. And, it's a constant fight for me to try to lead my body over when I push my legs down. You want to see a technical masterclass at the front end, I'd recommend looking at GB lightweight women's double. Very, very efficient placement. Okay, as we're thinking about the front end, let's also think about, sort of say, the coaches say, hang off that, but you do need to engage. And an exercise I've been doing in the double scale recently is to put my hands down the blades, which is quite uncomfortable from a stability perspective when you both do it together. But the idea is it really helps you think about connecting low, connecting through your lats. So you roll out your loose, and once you push away, you feel a connection down the sides of your body, the lats. It's nice. It's doing easy miles here. I can feel myself a bit clunky. I'm not really properly warmed up here. I know it'll smooth out as I go along. Anyone that's looking closely at the video can see I'm sitting on a seat cushion that shapes the ergo seat like it's in the boat. I find it really helps me, particularly with the rock. It takes pressure off my glutes. So for the long distance ergos, especially, makes them more bearable. When I did the marathon, there we go, earlier this year in Finland, I used a seat cushion along with cycling shorts. It was the most comfortable I wear being on a long distance road. But the point, our rock is the main one. We're just trying to be as biometrically efficient as possible to get as much of our work onto the machine or into the water. So we can get our body over, we can swing it back against our legs. And that is a very powerful way to move the handle quickly. Okay. Coming to the last 30 seconds of the first 10. So now just have a quick think about what you're going to do in the next 2 minutes before we start again. What you're going to stretch. Have a quick drink of water. I'm going to focus on my legs, which are still sore from running in the week. Something I do very often. Okay, one more. Okay. I find quite a quick and easy stretch is this one where you use the seat, push your hand down, you stretch your forearm, and at the same time you can, if you bend the opposite leg, you can also stretch your hamstring as well. So if it's quite a short break, it's quite efficient. Okay, let's try and be back on the machine with 20 seconds to go. So we're not in a rush. I'm warming up nicely here. Take the tee shot off after the next split. Okay, 15 seconds. Now the way I like to ease into pieces is I do a stroke every 3 seconds. So I do a 6, then a 3, and we're on. So if I were doing intervals, sprint intervals, that's how I time myself into the interval. I don't do them from standing start. Apart from the first one, obviously, so if I'm doing 500s, 10 500s, I'll do 9, 6, 3. I do a very long first stroke, and then sit up for a couple. I find that gives me a very good take on, which gives you a place to then establish your rhythm for the remainder of the work piece. So we'll try just to practice, not because we're working hard today. We'll try and do those on the intervals. Okay, so we're loosening up. Thinking about posture, but relaxation. Let's just take a few strokes to think about a long straight back, rocking from the hips, but low loose shoulders. Good. So we're hanging, connecting through our lats. Well, earlier on I talked about feeling the weight come onto the balls of your feet for the reversal. Sometimes you obviously need that to be second nature, but one thing I sometimes focus on to encourage my legs and the timing, my big toe. Let's just try, as we roll out, get to front stops. Just tap down with your big toe. I find it helps activate the movement for me. Tap with toe. Leave the hands behind. Yeah. That's it. What we really want is the seat and the handle moving exactly together up front. The change in direction of the seat and the handle to be simultaneous and coordinated. That's good. Okay. I'm just going to exaggerate the rock a little bit. Just as we rock, the back stops from the hips with our long straight back. You just feel a little tension build in our hamstrings. Before our knees pop up. So we want the roll of the seat forward to be under control. But it's a good check that we've got our body into a good position before the seat moves. I'm always being criticised by coaches for my slow hand movement, or at least I was back in the 1990s. But I think the most important thing is the weight transfer. The weight's going backwards, There's a lot more weight in your upper body, which your arms are obviously connected to, than there is in just moving the hands. You know, if you sit leaning back and just move the hands, that's not helping the weight transfer. That's good. Feeling that tension in the hands again, the hamstring. Good. Let's just think about our ankles, knees and hips, and make sure that they're in a good line with each other. Make sure our ankles aren't too close together. Another one of my bad habits, especially when I'm working hard. I want to make sure as our knees rise, the ankles, knees and hips stay in line. You don't want the knees too close together. Definitely don't want them touching. We don't want them flopping out either. That's a weak position. Something I've been working on this season. Started to get a little bit too wayward with my knees. Okay. Coming together. Just pick one of those things. Hamstrings, big toes, knee positions, flat connection, length. Let's just think about that for a minute. Focus. I'm just going to think about leaving my body. Make sure the second half of my leg drive, I've still got some body to move against the leg. That's my power curve at these low rates is very back-ended peak. That's good. 20 seconds to the change. 10 went really fast for me. Think about what you need to do. Last couple. Do one more. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay. This music stand out of the way. Music stand's very handy in erg rooms. Put your training program on it while you're erging. On an iPad, if you're doing something very long, you need a distraction, or you want to row along to a Zoom ergs YouTube. Okay. I might have to open a window in here. It's getting humid. How long have we got? A minute? Okay. I remember we're going to practice our piece takeoff here. Gives you very, very consistent start to work pieces, I find. Okay, 30 seconds. I'm just going to take a little stroke on 12 seconds. There. One on 9. There. And then lengthening out. 6. Long one on 3. We'll be powering that one. And now we're into the piece. There you go. I've got a nice 149 split there, just from the running start. Now I'm back onto UT2 pace. I'm a bit higher than we were, so we're at 20. Sitting a little bit lively because of that start. We'll settle it again. That's good. Nice roll out. Let the seat come towards our ankles. Nice long strokes. I'm just touching the cage of the yoga at the front. I like to get my length of the stroke focused very much on the front end. You see a lot of indoor rowers who focus, whether they're water rowers or not, who do very long back ends like this. Not how I choose to paddle. Choosing to paddle in a way that's more physiologically consistent with how I work on the water. Also, what the rock that my body has been dug into over 30 years, I think, as well. We're going to take a few minutes now to think about the arms and the hands. So one thing we want to do is try to keep, especially during the work phase, the wrist as flat as possible, so that we're using the minimum amount of energy to have to hold on to the handle. That's relatively straightforward off the front end, but as we come through the stroke, it's quite easy to end up like that, which you don't want. So we're going to think about creating space for our wrists by bringing our shoulders through. So think about our shoulders, the back end of the stroke, just the shoulder blades closing up slightly. And we're thinking then of how that gives us the space, letting our elbows come to where it feels natural. We don't want them too high. We don't want them tucked in. So it's where they're natural with a straight wrist. We're doing water work where you're trying to twist the skull or the blade at both ends of the stroke at the catch. As you roll up over the feet, square the blade, put it in the water at the back of the stroke to feather on the extraction. You want to be able to have your wrists in a really ideal position to be able to facilitate that movement, which comes a little bit, for me at least, a little bit from the wrist, and a little bit from the fingers. Sort of uncoiling the fingers helps the blade turn. If your wrists are in a bad position through the stroke, when you make those movements, you're adding stress. It's going to contribute to overuse injuries. So let's combine from the last 10, leaving some body for the second half of the stroke. Back shoulders, squeezing through. Doing it with acceleration of the handle, come through the stroke. You want to exaggerate that and take the pressure off the front and increase it at the back. In the water, we would say light catch, off pressure finish. Important when you do that, not to overwork the back end. Just the last few inches into the body. You don't want to be trying to hang on to the work for too long. Stay connected but not overworked. Had a good reminder of that when I was at the head of the Charles recently. My first experience using the new comp blades from Concept 2. And there's quite a lot of weight in those blades below the shaft. If you overdo the rotation in the back, you're more likely to catch the water at the finish, which is a real disaster. It's one of the worst ways to crab. You have no time to recover the handle. Difficult conditions on the warm-up days there. Swirling winds. During the race. Much better conditions, but also just trying to incorporate these lessons into my paddling. Don't overwork the back. Nice, very easy miles there. I've really been watching my heart rate. A little bit high. If you haven't got a heart rate monitor, UT2 is the exertion level where you should be able to short conversation. On that measure, I think I'm pretty much there. Okay. 15 seconds. Two-minute break. One more. There we go. Okay, quick break. Towels are coming in handy. I like to lay the hand towel sometimes on my handle. When I'm getting hot and sweaty, it reminds me to wipe the handle down before the next piece. Okay, blimey, time is flying. Okay, we're at 20 seconds. Dry the handle. Sweat off the palms of the hand. Remember, 12 seconds, a little one. 9, 6, 3, we're off. There we go. The timing on that one was perfect. That score of 141. And settling it back down. I've been paddling it. The first 10 was at 19. I think we've been at 20 most of the time since then. Been feeling like easy miles. Great to see so many of you still here for the fourth. We're going to think about on this fourth piece, we're going to focus on things that make us efficient and loose. And then on the last piece, we'll think a bit more about power. So let's start at the top. Make sure our faces are relaxed. So it takes less energy to smile than to grit your teeth. Generally looks more like a grimace though. So, I do remember James Cracknell joking that the relaxed muscle is a wasted muscle. But we want to use all our energy moving the handle. So let's come down the body, make sure our head is in line with our spine, not lolling one side or the other, not too far forward or too far back. Shoulders down and relaxed. Chest open. One thing I sometimes think about my chest when I rock over from the back is almost at my chest, trying to get it to go up and forward. Especially, I have a bit of a tendency to slump, which is relax, but not very good for your breathing. You've got to be able to give our chest room to expand. And for our abdomen to give space for our diaphragm. At least that's what I remember from my 1987 O-level biology. So loose arms. Leading them straight through the first part of the drive. Let's see if we can leave them straight as long as possible. Just as a bit of an exercise, just delay the arm break. That's interesting, it just leads to my elbows naturally coming in, which isn't good. Think about the elbows again and the wrists. That's it. So relaxed stomach. Wearing my black all-in-one. So you can't see my middle-age spread. Or well, it's more hidden at least. Very difficult as you get older to maintain muscle mass and not to be carrying some excess fat. It's important that you try to keep it under control so we can maintain our stroke length and our biodynamics. And if we're pushing our knees out, because we can't tuck up with our tummy, I'm just going to get inefficiency, but also not good wear, not good for you on your joints. Now onto the hips, the glutes. Those glutes that connect the legs and the back through the drive. They're the part of the body that tends to hurt the most on the ergo because they're working hard, but you're sitting on them. Unsurprisingly, they start to complain after a while. So the two best solutions I've ever had for that is a folded up towel or this Danish seat pad shaped like a rowing seat. The neoprene ones I've never got on with. I know plenty of people do. Okay, efficiency and relaxation. Now onto the legs. Keep them relaxed on the recovery. I like to make sure that I don't lock my legs out fully. In fact, the harder the work I do, the more I focus on not locking my legs out. So we'll think about that, soft knees. So they're almost straight, but not quite. In a boat, often, in the shape of the cockpit, you can't straighten your legs fully. You don't have the constraints on the machine. Soft knees. Wow, here we are, last 15 seconds. One more. Okay. 4 down, 1 to go. For anyone who wants to. If you're signing off here, done an amazing job. Your body will be thankful for it. You'll sleep better at night. Which will help your brain. So it's a physical and mental benefit. Oof, it's pretty humid in here. All right, I'm just going to call this last one with some more racy thoughts, but I'm not going to pull any harder. This is just a thought experiment. $20 seconds. Okay, try the handle. 12, little stroke. 9, 6, 3. We're off. Nice rolling start. Now, if this was a race, thinking about getting the boat speed up, fast legs, but trying not to cause problems for later. We're doing it best form that we can. We're not overloading the small muscles. We're concentrating fatigue on the muscles we've trained the hardest. Now we're stretching out, rolling out, seat to heels. We're lengthening. At some point, we'll find a cruising race pace. So we're looking for the red line. Heart rate will be soaring, depending on how big the race is. Adrenaline might be flowing. Mind is still quite clear. We're aware of the calls. We're steering. We're checking where we are. Keeping our head up. Might have a call. Consolidate the rhythm. Let's think about leg speed. My favorite example is Sir Steve. The videos of Sir Steve. Look at the speed his legs go down. Huge, strong man. It's so dynamic with the drive. Your blades in the water and your legs go down fast. You will be propelling the boat. Nice. Legs and hang. Legs and hang. Maybe your arms are tingling, forearms maybe tingling, especially crosswind, or it's wavy. Many of you were at British Masters, I know Joe was. In Nottingham, you'll know what I mean, without bad conditions. Very hard to be relaxed from the waist up in rolling waves, nasty winds. You're trying to strike the balance between maintaining control of the oar not just frying your forearms by them being constantly tense. Easier on the indoor machine, of course. We're relaxing. We're not overworking the last 2 inches. Clean extraction. Flat wrists. Nice rhythm. Right, back to power. Let's think about back against legs. Fast legs. Back through. Just gonna see my split drop a couple of points there. Nice. Consolidate. Have a check on the length. And tap the cage at the front if you can. Can't get any longer than that at the front. Third quarter. You're on the red line. The brain's not happy with you. This is what you trained for. Maybe things are getting a little fuzzy. Steering, you're having to really concentrate to make sure you keep steering. Probably can't think about anything else. Which is what all the training's for, but everything else comes naturally. Shoulders through. Okay, last couple of minutes. We might be looking for markers on the bank. Execute the final bit of the race plan. Our lifts. We're starting to empty the tanks. We're over the red line. Unsustainable. The finish line is coming. All those things we were thinking about earlier, the relaxation, that's helping us now. We're able to move our hands a bit faster. Our soft knees are coming up quicker. The rate's coming up. Our big muscles are working hard. Going through the tears. Flat out. Pass the progress board. Yeah. Last 15 seconds. You're through the line of the race. Just paddling it out. Last two. Excellent. All right. Very good. Good stuff. Oh. Can't. This is one of the differences since I last did Zoom. Okay, so I can't see anything without glasses anymore. And they've steamed up. I can barely see anything.